this episode of Playlog, we're sitting down with the team at Skeletal Games for our first developer interview, talking about their visual novel where you steal a coffee recipe and try to blame it on someone else. Hey guys, CGDannyB back again with another episode of Playlog, the podcast where we talk all things indie gaming. But of course, I can't talk indie games alone because that'd be so boring. So I've got my partner in crime, the Play Nice Kid themselves, Tofr. What's poppin', homie?
Listen, we need to talk about something.
What?
With the new tariffs going on.
Yes.
My prices have gone up.
Oh no.
I mean, to appear on this show. So. No, I am so sorry for the state of your country.
Let me tell you, man. It's nice to pretend it doesn't exist. It's nice to just. What are we talking about? What happened? I don't know. But also that's really ignorant to do. So it's a life. But video games are cool. Yeah. It's a nice escape.
I guess so. I just worry.
Yeah.
About you.
You know, if you find out the country just blipped away one day, I'm probably in a better place. It'll be fine. It'll be good. And by that I mean Canada. Oh fuck! What a time though. Do anything exciting this weekend?
This weekend?
I know it's Tuesday, but I guess it's Thursday for them. So you were like, this weekend? What are you talking about?
This weekend? What did I do this weekend? I know. I was. I'm like I don't. Did I mention my sleeping issues on the show, or was that when we were talking before we went live?
It might.
I don't know. But the thing is, I have sleeping issues, and they're still here. So I spend a lot of my weekend sleeping.
Jealous. I like the sleep. I want more sleep.
I get it.
I might export this and take it. No, I can't take a power nap that late. Then it'll be bedtime. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'll power through the day. I'll tell you, this weekend, One Piece came back. So that was pretty great. The Straw Hats sail again. But we got 2 episodes. So we got one and then another one the next night. But we weren't together. So I still haven't watched the second new episode. Maybe by the time this episode comes out, I have. But the Straw Hats, man, let me tell you, some shit's going down, Tofr.
I have no idea because I have never seen an episode of One Piece in my life.
Let me tell you. All right, so it starts off, there's this rubber boy. His name is Monkey D. Luffy, right? And he wants to be king of the pirates. That's episode 1. You got time for another 1,080-something episode explanation?
Maybe not during the intro to the podcast.
All right. Okay. That's fine. Hey, guys. So today is a special episode. We're going to be interviewing the developers from Skeletal Games, but we'll cut to that in just a moment because I got some housekeeping for you guys. So strap on in. Real quick reminder, hey, my April releases video finally dropped. It's here. We didn't do it in March, but April's ready to go. You can catch it over on youtube.com/CGDannyB, where I feature 16 must-play indie games releasing in the month of April. We've got games like Haste. We got, obviously, MonsterCon, and then just a bunch more. So if you're looking for something new to play, not quite sure what to keep on your radar, be sure to go check out that video. It's available for you right now. Also, if you enjoy Fallout and TTRPGs, then boy, do I have a show for you. Sunday nights, we'll be streaming our new series, Fallout 313. Run by the astonishing LB Hackemup. Fallout 313 is a role-playing adventure using the Modiphius system that's all about rolling not 1, but 2 D20s. I'm playing Finn, a very intelligent super mutant who's far too gentle for his own good and just wants to sniff some flowers. You can watch the first couple episodes right now on the Hack Recklessly YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@hackrecklessly, HACKRECKLESSLY, and then join us Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, again at twitch.tv/hackrecklessly, and again if you need to spell that, HACKRECKLESSLY. I'm getting nervous. It's a 6-episode series. We're going into episode 5. Ooh. I don't want it to end, you know?
I can imagine. I'm on episode 3 right now.
Okay.
I've just finished watching that one, so I'm really curious to see how this goes.
Let me tell you, Finn's having a time. There's a very emotional moment in episode 4 with my character and another character. I'm like, oh my god, you're sharing this with me? I love this. It's nice.
Ooh,
it's a nice time. It's the 2. I don't even know, like, in terms of players, it's the two big boys. It's the two big black guys just being like, "What's going on with me, man?" I'm like, "Hey, buddy, it's gonna be okay." Like it's a good time. Another quick reminder: are you gonna be in Boston for PAX East from May 8th to 11th? Well, so will I. I'll be attending PAX East again as a content creator. Excited to play some games, talk to developers, and meet more internet friends. I'll be all around the show floor throughout the weekend, as well as taking part in the Video Game Trivia Reloaded panel hosted by Jacob McCourt. This guy just can't get enough of me, man. He loves me too much. The panel also features guests like Dave Jackson from Tales of the Backlog, and also last year's DS panel, Trina Smith from Gamerhead Podcast, Dan Colano, aka Danomac, Lightweight Gaming from the Trophy Room Podcast, and then Steve Saylor, the blind gamer himself. This panel will be Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. EST. It will not be streamed, but Jacob is recording the entire thing, so it will be on YouTube a few days once PAX wraps up. So if you're there at PAX, you want to come find me, come say hello, take some pictures. I'm going to be on the lookout because I found out the first speaker is Greg Miller from Kind of Funny. So I got a man to find. I'm going to find Greg fucking Miller, and I'm going to tell him how important Kind of Funny is to me. Or, okay, this is the deep joke that's not funny, so I wouldn't do it. But there was a joke for a while where people were putting Nutter Butters in his pocket at like meet and greets. Because, oh God, I got to unpack this for you too. So they did Oreoation, right? Where they're like, oh, we eat Oreos, we taste test them, right? Then we move on. But then one episode, there were the peanut butter Oreos. So as a joke, they replaced all of the peanut butter Oreos with Nutter Butters. So when he's like opening, like, all right, these literally are just Nutter Butters. Guys, they look just like Nutter Butters. Like, maybe we replace the pack with Nutter Butter. And like, it was just a funny, like, he's just, why are you ruining the sanctity of Oreoation? And then I got annoying because people are like, it's funny, Nutter Butters. She's like, all right, can we knock it the fuck off? This is dumb. So obviously we won't actually do Nutter Butters. But no, I messaged Kanai the other day. I'm very excited. Hopefully I get to at least see Greg speak, if the possibility of meeting him would be super dope. But yeah, PAX, can't wait. And then one last quick reminder, as part of our podcast, we'll be doing our monthly book club where we go back and replay some indie classics or finally get around to some modern indies that we just haven't played yet. And for the month of April, we'll be playing Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, made by the devs behind the excellent Sayonara Wild Hearts. This game is a puzzle adventure in which you play as a woman who has been summoned by an eccentric man to participate in a project in an old hotel somewhere in Eastern Europe. Fall down the rabbit hole in a non-linear mystery with an immense amount of handcrafted puzzles and decipher the enigma of Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Tofr, thank you for updating that description. It's much better than what Steam has. Play the game this month on Steam, Switch, or PlayStation. Then head over to our write-in forum in the description and give us your thoughts on Lorelei and the Laser Eyes for our April 22nd episode of Playlog Podcast. You can join us live on twitch.tv/CGDannyB for the discussion, or catch the upload next Thursday, Thursday, a couple days after, on youtube.com/CGDannyB or audio podcast services. Whew! That's the intro. Let me tell you. It's almost like I've been talking for a couple hours.
These intros are getting longer and longer.
What can I say? But like I said earlier, this is a special episode. It's, I guess, technically our first episode of season 2, our first post 1 year episode.
Before you announce it,
yes,
there's something I forgot to mention in the housekeeping.
Okay.
You are on another podcast this week, aren't you?
Oh shit, you right. Damn. Run it back. We're going back to housekeeping. Hey guys, also this week, oh god, I don't have a script for this one. I have to wing it. I sat down with Jared from Play Along Podcast, as well as Matt Storm from Fun and Games Podcast. We did a group review on Eternal Strands. I talked about the game earlier this year. We did a review on this podcast. I did my own personal review for the channel. I've talked about how much I've enjoyed Eternal Strands. It was one of my first indie bangers for this year. And now Jared's beaten it. Matt had beaten it back when it came out. And now we get to sit and talk about some of our favorite characters, our favorite moments, our loadouts, and etc. So if you want to check it out on audio services, I know at least specifically Spotify, you can find it under the Play Along podcast feed. It's the newest episode. Well, I guess by the time this comes out, there might be a new episode, but you can find it. It'll be at the top. Yeah, it'll be Eternal Strands featuring CGDannyB and Matt Storm. So please go check that one out. Jared, super dope dude. We're constantly interacting with shit on Instagram. Super chill. Love the guy. Hope to meet him at some point. I don't know when to get to a PAX, but not this one, I guess.
Oh.
That's That's the news. That's it. Okay. Smooth. Anyway, season 2, right? This is our first episode where we are doing our developer interview here on the podcast. Tofr reached out to the team over at Skeletal Games, the team making Spill the Beans, and we could tell you what that is, but why would we do that? We should just have the developers do it. So let's cut over to another Danny, another Tofr in another timeline and talk about Spill the Beans. Hey everybody, past Danny and Tofr here, doing a lovely interview with the gang over at Skeletal Games, because today we are going to be talking about Spill the Beans. Very exciting. Of course, this is our first developer interview we've been doing here on the show, and I want to give you both an opportunity to introduce yourselves, what role you play at the company, and then we could talk about the game itself. So, who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Perfect.
Hi, I'm Storm. I am producer, programmer, and sometimes writer at Skeletal Games. Also the boss man, so I tell everyone off when they don't do work and demand that they work harder for me.
Very strict. Yes, I like it.
Yeah, I'm Smur. I am a writer, composer, sound designer for Spill the Beans. I think in general, yeah, it's me and Storm here on the script, and then me kind of filling in the background to get all of the audio to try and work.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm at mostly.
Awesome. Great. So Tofr and I have both played the demo already, but for those who might be clicking on for the first time, not really having an idea of what game we're talking about, if you had to explain Spill the Beans to our audience or anybody for the first time, what is this game?
Yeah, I mean, Spill the Beans is a reverse detective visual novel where you show up for your first day working as a barista at a cafe, but you don't intend on making any coffee. Instead, you're there to steal your boss's magical coffee recipe. Don't question why that exists. It's a normal thing. Don't worry about it. And on your way out, or trying to sneak out, security systems hit. You're all trapped inside. Now you need someone else to blame so you can get away scot-free.
I love the concept of this because Tofr brought it up, and I forget if it was just a weekend we were just playing demos, and he's like, I played this is really cool. I'm like, hold on, I'm interested now. And of course, hot siren lady is what got me into the game, but the rest was really cool too.
You're not the first person to say that.
I mean, I couldn't fathom a world where I was, but if I'm the first one to say it out loud on video, then I'll take that. But yeah, Tofr, so we both played the game this past weekend. Did you have any other first impressional thoughts you wanted to bring up as we get ready to ask some questions here?
It's the second playthrough I did of the demo, because I did the first time was, I think it was a Next Fest demo. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I it makes me wonder, but that's maybe a question for further along the line, how you keep all of these intertwining stories together, and that seems like a tough thing to do. But maybe before we get into that, so Skeletal Games is a dev team split between the UK and Canada. Are the both of you in the UK, or are you?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm in
well.
Northern Ireland, and Smur is.
Yeah, I'm in England. If you can already tell.
What?
Yeah, so we've got another member of our team who's also in UK, in England specifically, and then 2 of our members are also in Canada. So it gets a little weird with the time zones, but I think we've gotten used to it for quite a while
Okay.
now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it helped
And-
because this project, it is like a passion project. It's a part-time thing in our, in our days after work. So it's a kind of thing where we meet up on the weekend and we talk about what we managed to do and what, hours we managed to scrape by between our jobs to make this silly little thing happen. And the time zones work for that on a weekend more so than a weekday would.
I can imagine. But how did the 5 of you meet? Because being in different countries, did you meet before the game jam where you created the base for what would be Spill the Beans?
I mean, Smurge, you want to explain our backstory?
Yeah, so our backstory is that we've known each other since we were teenagers, pretty much, as in younger teenagers. We all met through this wild kind of well, I mean, through different ways, but basically this massive tabletop role-playing thing. It was a massive like set of these interconnected Dungeons and Dragons campaigns that one of my like IRL friends was running, basically. And yeah, we just kind of all met in this context of like, oh yeah, we really care about, you know, these long-running stories and all these like little intertwined kind of moments and these characters and their journeys and stuff like that. When we're all like, yeah, like a fair bit younger now, which is weird to reflect on. Obviously, it's been like quite a number of years. But over time, you know, I mean, we still play tabletop stuff together, but we also kind of, I think, all share a sort of appreciation for that kind of storytelling. You know, like really sort of long-running, like character-focused, really like digging deep into, you know, what people care about and why they care about it. But yeah, I think is that a good summary of our kind of shared backstory? I mean, the first time I talked to you was on Skype, like when I was what, like 16.
You were a cleric. I was a tiefling warlock. We had never spoken to each other apart from while pretending to be fantasy characters, and proceeded to get to know each other while I was pretending to be an elf and you were pretending to be an orc. And you know, a very normal way to start a friendship and to start making games together, for sure. And then eventually, you know, we became friends outside of that. And one day, I was, you know, sitting down. I was back at uni after a year working in the game industry, and I said, "Wow, I've got too much free time now that I'm only a student, and all I'm doing is sleeping and handing in assignments late." There's this visual novel jam coming up. It's called NaNoRenO. It happens every March, I think. So I think the latest one should happen in 2025. And in the fateful year of 2020, which we all remember very fondly, said, yeah, we should make a visual novel together. It'll only be a month. You know, it's a month-long jam. It'll be very short. You know, and we sat down and we basically came up with, I would say, all the characters that are in Spill the Beans in like a couple hours brainstorm. They're pretty faithful. Apart from maybe the Siren, originally she was meant to be like a lounge kind of bar singer. And that evolved into social media character. But like everyone else, Grudge especially, the Skeleton, he is, I'm going to be honest, I think he's pretty much exactly as we drew him in our first brainstorming session.
That's so great. I love him. He's so great. I won't lie. He's currently my target of who we're going to blame first. So we, you know, let's see if he gets mad at me. Now first you had me at Tiefling Warlock because that was my first ever D&D character, and I already like you much more now. But one question I'd love to ask is where this like idea came from. You know, we had the game jam, wanted to do a visual novel, but normally there's that like aha moment. Did you like see somebody's secret recipe where you're looking at Plankton trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula and being like, we can make this cozy, or what's that like aha moment for we knew this is what game we wanted to make?
That's a good question. I mean, I think, well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, Storm, but I mean, the actual premise, right? Like of, oh, you're the one who's, you know, stolen the recipe and you're trying to find someone else to blame. Initially, you know, first premise, you know, we were working under the assumption that we just had a month, right? So we were going super like simple, maybe a bit more obvious, I guess, right? Where we were just like, pulling these different archetypes in and seeing, who would actually be the culprit, you know, in sort of maybe a bit more classic mystery style. Okay. But I think, God, how long was it like into development? I think it was at least like, it was some number of months in, right?
The thing was that we came up with the name Spill the Beans before we kind of knew anything else because it was punny. Yeah. And we thought that was great. So in the first draft, like one of the characters was going to be the one who stole something. We didn't know which one, but we were like, we'll figure it out as we go, you know, creative process. And then at one point we were like, oh, what if it was the player character? And I'd say for like the next draft of the game, I think this is that like it was meant to be the reveal at the end. Like you would go through thinking that you were trying to find someone to blame, and then at the end it'd be like, oh, it was actually you all along. Ooh. Like, you know, unreliable narrator type vibes. Yeah.
That's really dope.
I think as we continued on, though, you know, we were quickly discovering, that's actually the most interesting part of the premise, you know? And so, I mean, it's classic writing advice, right? Like, you know, don't hold on to that for too long. Like, just get to that most sort of dramatic and interesting bit, you know, put it up front and have the player interact with it. And that's really kind of guided our drafts of the script kind of going forwards after that. And I think it's much the better for it. I think it's a very different game for it. And you know, I think it means that, oh yeah, suddenly you're put into this more like manipulative role, which I think is, you know, maybe not the exact vibe that you think of when you're coming into a very like cozy sort of coffee shop AU type setting. And so that contrast for me, I found much more interesting. So it's been cool seeing, you know, how much of it has been a process of discovery, I guess, rather than just, you know, we have an idea fully formed and we're just gonna pursue it, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, even with the like player character as the, you know, the criminal, as the kind of bad guy in this situation, even in like earlier drafts, it was like only in the intro where, you know, you do steal it that you figure it out. Like we kind of were a bit more cagey, like, oh, you're kind of looking around for the escape path. And we did playtesting, and people were like, "Oh, I'm so disappointed that we're the bad guy," and we're like, "Oh God, okay." So that's why in the demo and in the full game, the intro starts off immediately with you stealing the recipe. We do that kind of, you know, in media res kind of thing where you steal it just because we want to make sure that the player doesn't go into this thinking, "Oh, this is really cozy," and then have the rug pulled. So we want to be very upfront with what the game's about, and that is still a fun premise to play around in.
That's great. I had again listened to Tofr talk about it months ago, right? And I'm like, okay, I like the idea here, and I hadn't got my hands on it until this past week, and trying to envision what the gameplay loop would be like of now I'm trying to blame someone. So getting my hands on it and seeing that moment of the moment I talk to this character, I'm like, I don't know, that guy's looking kind of sus over there. It's like, yeah, actually, I don't like him very much. And seeing how now this builds up, how easy was it to come up with this system, or like were there inspirations that came of like, this is how we're going to establish not only who our player is blaming, but how they're going to focus the attention from all the NPCs and trying to blame whichever character?
I mean, I think a large part of us deciding on like the system and how we approach this kind of comes down to a previous draft we did where it kind of felt like the premise was that you tried to understand the characters more so. Like, we didn't have the little icons that flagged that, oh, this is going to make characters more suspicious. You kind of just had to guess the outcome. And the kind of loop was meant to be more like you try to understand the characters.
Yeah.
And we did some play testing, and then people were like, oh, okay, I don't feel like I'm getting that kind of mastermind feeling. And so we kind of went back through and we're like, okay, well, actually more of the intent of the game is you being the mastermind, is you saying, actually, I do want this person to be in a better state of mind, but I want them to be more suspicious of this guy over there. And that kind of definitely fed into the next bit of the game that kind of is that core gameplay loop where you're talking to people and you're trying to see these ideas, which I guess Murray, you can probably talk more about the kind of the core loop.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I'll mention is that in previous drafts of the script, the way in which we presented narrative choices, so particularly like mood choices, right? Does this thing that you say make a character feel better about you or worse about you, you know? We were more traditional with that in the sense that we were like, okay, well, you know, in most of the RPGs that you'll play, right, the consequences of those choices aren't always going to be flagged up. So the gameplay was more so about, oh, do you understand the character well enough to make the call of like, oh, if I say this thing, they'll feel better. If I say this thing, they'll feel worse. But you know, from the demo and the gameplay, we changed all that. We made pretty much, I think, all of those choices transparent as to whether it will put mood up or down. And that was, as Storm said, like after this iteration where players were kind of like, I just feel like I'm guessing. You know, I don't really feel like I'm being successful in manipulating these characters, which I know is kind of, you know, maybe a cruel thing to say.
Yeah.
But that's part of the intended emotional experience of the game, you know, is that like you want to bring up feelings like that. So actually putting that into the player's hands, I think, has been much more fruitful in that respect.
I'm a big fan of that for sure, seeing like what's going to happen as I'm selecting options and see like I started this demo, and Tofr, I don't know, you might play different, so by all means, I'd love to hear how you played it. I started with the very like, I don't want anyone to dislike me. I want them to all think like I'm a nice guy, so when I steal it, whatever. Then I'm like, oh right, I gotta like blame someone here, so I should make someone hate me. And I ended up getting, I didn't write down his name, the delivery man. He was the first one. I was just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I felt so bad. He was the first one. I'm like, yeah, I guess whatever you have to say, dude. And I was like, oh no, I've hurt someone. Okay, I shouldn't do that anymore. And then saved all my mean comments for Grudge. I'm like, all right, cool. He's who we're going after. Tofr, how did your decisions go out in this demo?
I started out in a very similar way. First of all, because that's how I am in real life. I want people to like me. But I also find it hard. Like, I've played a couple of games where you have to like manipulate people into believing that someone else is to blame. I'm thinking about Among Us, but I'm also thinking about a game like Overboard. And I kind of struggle with that. But it's really cool to learn how you as developers like apply the necessary psychology to how to actually manipulate everyone. Because from what I've seen so far in the demo, it seems like you have a really good grasp of like how, like which micro actions can like influence people in certain ways. Did you like have to do a lot of research on how manipulation works, or were you able to pull on like people from your own backstories that were very manipulative?
Well, maybe we're just both very manipulative people.
I was about to
that's the lesson here. You know,
I didn't want to have to say it, but maybe.
I mean, you know, feel free to disagree with me here, Storm, but I think like both of us have at least a part of us that is like a chronic people pleaser, you know, and I'm definitely the kind of person who in RPGs will go, wait, no, like, you know, I know that my choices matter, so I want to, you know, keep these people on my side. I don't want to, you know, just be, you know, super evil all the time if I have the choice. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, how would you say to that, Storm? Because I don't necessarily feel like I've, you know, done a lot of research and how to influence and manipulate people or whatever the kind of
No, I think
you know,
from
psychology
my
is.
point of view, and I guess how we've approached some of the character writing is that like characters are kind of like they kind of have two kind of facets to themselves, you know, like getting someone like choosing the like good mood options makes someone perhaps, you know, more open to change, and choosing the bad ones kind of make them more set in their ways. So I kind of view it almost more as I'm a big RPG girly. I love the Dragon Age series, and in Dragon Age 2 they have like a rivalry friendship system, which I think not a lot of other things have done it. I think it has its own drawbacks, but one of the pluses is that, you know, it's not a case of a character hates you and you lose that character forever and you don't get any interesting content with them. Which I think is one of the big drawbacks of video games when you play them, and it's like, sure, I want the consequences, but I don't want less content because of that. You know, it's the playing the evil route in Baldur's Gate 3 and being like, oh, everyone's dead and I have no one to talk to and I've missed out on all these fun quests, but I have Minthara now, I guess, you know? So I guess that's definitely like an approach we have, is that like, you know, upsetting the character doesn't mean that you're going to get less game. It means you're going to have different reactions from that character for things. And it's never about cutting off content. In fact, there are some bits in the later game that you can only see, and you can only get more insight into that character if they do have that kind of lower mood, if you have put them in a worse position.
Oh no. Oh, now I gotta think about, oh no, I don't like this. I gotta make everybody mad? Okay. Cool. Yeah. So with that, right, are we still working on multiple endings to come? Do we kind of have like a finite, like this is how many endings there are? There'll be one good, one bad per character. Secret characters will have things. Do we have like a number of endings, or is that kind of a players will see kind of thing?
I mean, it depends how we want to describe it. I mean, you know, the way we've described it, I think, and this is absolutely accurate, is that, you know, the game has at least 15 different endings, and that's because each character has 3 different possible routes, I guess we call them in development, by which you can accuse them, depending on the line of questioning you use. And for each character, we wanted to make sure that, you know, we covered the full kind of breadth of what that character had to offer, I guess. So some of them are maybe plausible, some of them are really not very plausible at all, where it's almost like we're challenging the player to go, okay, like, do you have enough characters on your side that they might actually believe this ridiculous kind of accusation you're throwing at them? So there's some, you know, there's some, I hope, funny ones.
Okay.
You know, will remain to be seen. But
I
yeah,
think not
I mean,
biased.
Storm's been super. I mean, in the process, she's really good at keeping all this stuff organized. We've had these extensive kind of meetings where we planned out so much of like, you know, the character arcs and what really motivates them, you know, elements of their backstories, where I feel like going into each character sort of ending, you know, each one is sort of focused on one very particular aspect of that character. So there's always some kind of element of emotional engagement, I guess, that we're building around and planning around. So yeah, I guess like you mentioned earlier, Tofr, the you know, the challenge, I guess, to keep all these different strands of story sort of in our heads and how they sort of cross over. And I think that's basically how we did it. It's just a lot of forward planning and really knowing what each bit of the game is built around character-wise, like what it's contributing, what it's focused on.
Mm-hmm. Was the number of main characters always like, was it set from the beginning that you were going to have this number of characters to interrogate, to blame, or did you have to like figure it out along the way? Like, did you have more characters or less characters?
It has always been this amount of characters, including Dave, the delivery
Yeah.
man, who is just. Even we don't quite understand why he's there. It started as a joke, and now, you know, he's an important, integral part of the game in my heart. Maybe not in practice. But it's always been those characters. And I think pretty early on, you know, we split up the responsibilities for those as well. So I'm kind of like in terms of like the actual writing, we do write the other characters from time to time, but I'm in charge of Alex the Siren and Jesse the Vampire.
Okay.
And I guess Dave. Is also mine. I'll take it.
Dave's my baby. I get that. Protect Dave.
Yeah.
Because I sure did.
And that leaves me in charge of Sloan, Fred, and Grudge, which are a bit of a motley crew across all of them to write. They're all very well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Fred and Grudge are a bit similar in the way they interact with the player, but that is to say they're kind of both a bit abrasive. But it is interesting, kind of both of us having that shared responsibility, because you know, every character needs to be talked to as a witness for every single route. So inevitably, even though I'm planning out a route for Grudge, let's say, you know, I'm going to be writing this stuff for Alex and Jesse, and then I have to pass it over to Storm, and Storm goes, Alex wouldn't say that. And I go, okay, you're right, Alex wouldn't say that. And then we kind of go back and forth like that until success is achieved, you know?
Okay. So with that, right, so you say each path, you'll have to interrogate each person to make that decision. Is there a way... So I'm blaming Grudge, right? I'm like, I think it's this guy, so I got to talk to each character. Is there potential that I would skip someone by not talking to them and progressing? Is the game kind of like, before you can progress, you haven't spoken to Jesse, like you can't move on until you do that? Or like, does that leave a potential of like, Jesse won't be on my side because I just didn't speak to her? Is she kind of like null factor in that? Or I guess, what does that look like?
So the way it works is that after the intro and the demo, there is basically kind of a free roam period where there is a timer and you have only so much time to get enough plausible evidence to blame someone.
Okay.
Ooh.
And there will not be as much time as there is dialogue, so you have to make decisions on who you talk to and how fast you can get the best evidence you need.
Oh, well, now I'm nervous. Okay. You said timer? Okay. Great, because then... speaking of like the intro, right, and getting through and starting the interrogation. So for someone who's like, I want to get every ending, I want to see everyone get blamed, everyone whatever, is every run going to be start from the beginning? Hi, welcome to the job. I speak with someone, do that. Is there going to be like a, hey, I've played this game before, let me rapid pick decisions? Or will the player get used to like, okay, I'm going to have that intro conversation with Alex again, and et cetera, et cetera? Like what's that loop look like? Yeah,
I think we'll definitely have like a quick skip button at the start, you know, because it's a lot of setup, even if it's very well written, smart.
It's very
but you know, it is also a visual novel, so if you do want to speed through it, there is a quick skip button as well to fast forward through the dialogue. But yeah, definitely for replayability, there'll be an opportunity to skip through and get right to the interrogation.
Perfect. Because I know some decisions in there, like you talked to Alex about, yeah, you could turn off the lights. That was the first time I'm like, oh no, I made a mistake. I didn't want to get you in trouble. I didn't mean to mention the lights. I just thought it was for Instagram. No, but that's great to hear. Definitely. When I'm thinking I want to go in and get the other ending and I'm just sitting there clicking the mouse button and be like, yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's a nice cup of coffee, Jesse. It looks great. Let's keep going. So, okay. Awesome. Let me see. Tofr, do you want to take on? I might have jumped another question up forwards. Yeah, you go ahead, Tofr. Your hand.
I was wondering when you start that interrogation phase, is it solely conversations, or is there like an opportunity to like plant evidence to blame someone else? Is there like more to it than just the conversations, or is it mostly the dialogues?
There are some scripted opportunities to plant things that might come up. Yes. Yeah. I don't know how much to say.
Don't have to say that much about it.
We'll have an updated demo in I think 2 or 3 months that we'll be putting out that might give you some insight into that.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting. I love that.
Now, when it comes to these characters, you might have spotted it in the document already, but how can anyone accuse Sloane? Because there's a picture of her being taken away in handcuffs on the Steam page, and it broke my heart. I was like, I'm gonna play to try and get every ending except that ending, because I don't want that to happen.
Well,
I mean, she's yours,
Yeah, she is.
You're
well,
writing
because of course, I, as the writer of Sloane, know that she's secretly, actually evil. A fact that was not yet revealed in the intro. Is a subversion of expectations. No, I mean, like, in the same sense that, I mean, Sloane mentioned that, her background is very much in like RPGs, a lot of Dragon Age stuff. She also inadvertently got me into the Pillars of Eternity series, and like, it's I think it's important I mean, this is not necessarily an RPG, right, in the same way, but when you're giving different possible routes and choices to the player, that you allow them to express that in various different ways. And I think, it will be one thing if every single person in the cafe was like, oh yeah, this is someone who's super, super easy to blame. There's an obvious kind of point of access and contact with that. We want to give players choices and have those be felt and real, even if that means blaming someone that they like or think is, sweet or anything like that. If only just to satisfy the kind of player curiosity of just seeing what would happen. But also, I don't think Sloane is necessarily innocent, but I mean, hopefully we'll see more of that kind of going forwards into our next bit of the demo.
Tofr's heart's gonna shatter. You're gonna find out Sloane's like a crime lord.
Yeah. I'm gonna cry in a corner when that happens.
But let's see. So currently, I think Steam just says coming soon. But I think there was a discussion about potential Kickstarter over the summer. Do we have any ideas on when that's going to start? Plans for a timeline for release? Anything like that we want to discuss?
Yeah, I think the plan at the moment is Kickstarter late summer. I wouldn't say a specific date in case our social media manager comes after me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in terms of like future release, I think we spent a very long time on this game. Part-time in our spare time. We've taken months off, but it's been 4 years of working on this game.
Yeah.
And honestly, we've really hit our stride with figuring out what it is. I think it's a game with a very strong vision now. And I won't say a specific date, but I think it's coming along at a very good pace, and it'll be out sometime in the next. I'm not gonna. Oh God! I can't say a date. I'll just shoot myself in the
I was waiting for sometime in the next 10 years, maybe. Yeah.
Oh yes.
There we go.
Yes.
There's your window, people.
Are we getting it before Silksong? That's the question.
That's going to be 2025, isn't it?
Yeah, it's later this year, right?
It's supposed to be, but it was supposed to be 2024 and 2023 and 2022. So,
Yeah, I mean, they had to work on the slopes, right?
It's true.
The ones they showed in the direct. It's not easy, Game development's a very tricky and winding process.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm very much waiting for Silksong, but I am very much waiting for Spill the Beans. I need to get some of these people in trouble. Now we do have a very heavy console audience. Are there any plans for console? Are we worried about PC first, and then we'll talk about that later? Or
Yeah, it's definitely PC first for us. The game is developed in Ren'Py, and there's some difficulty porting it. You know, I've definitely looked into some options on places that could help port it to other platforms, which I think would be very cool. I think every game developer has the idea of holding, you know, their game in their hands on a Switch and thinking, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. I'm on a Nintendo. But that would definitely be further down the line if it happened, which we would love. We would love that.
Sure, of course. You got to play it on the go. And now it's probably going to be my Steam Deck game. We're going to lay in bed and play some Spill the Beans. Let me see. Tofr, do you want to take the next one?
Well, the document only mentions you the illustrations of Danny that were made by I guess it's by Melina.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
Which is really, really cool.
Yeah, so this was funny, right? Because Tofr, I think you sent me the video, like, hey, repost, do this, and our artist will, you know, draw you with. I'm like, okay, I mean, there's no reason not to, right? And then I get the TikTok DM. I'm like, well, I'm kind of a big deal, so I'll take that. So I've been holding on to these for a while. These are super adorable and precious to me, and they sit on a folder in my phone. So I had to make sure I brought these up and talk about. I guess I don't know if this was a big, you know, in studio important moment for you guys or not. Being like, hey, we're doing like social media reach out. Was there like a fun behind the scenes thing about this illustration project that there's talk about, or?
Oh, this thing was just because we had like, I think it was like so many, like 1,000 downloads on our demo, and we were just like, oh, it was just so awesome to have so many people interact with it. They were like, oh, let's try to like give something back to someone who's played the game. So we were like, Mel, get drawing, get to work, make something cute. And she came up with this cute selfie thing, and I think we did this for a few people across a couple of platforms.
I love it, and I feel bad that I
it's gone to such good hands, though.
Oh, thank you. We shot videos back and forth, like sent some selfies, some references, whatever. I'm like, hey, I got the beanie. I always got a pin, and I forget what videos I sent, but then we had the Strawberry from Celeste and Polly from Monster Prom like as pins. I'm like, okay, that's kind of perfect. So I'm pretty happy with these.
I was gonna ask actually on the hoodie there, is that the logo for Heart Machine?
It sure is.
I thought I recognized it. Yeah.
I think of the reference. I have the Heart Machine hoodie on from Yeti, and I'm a big fan.
Hyperlight Drifter, solid game, amazing
what
soundtrack.
A banger. Yes,
disaster piece, classic, absolute classic.
I'm waiting for another update for Breaker. We won't talk anymore about Breaker right now. Okay. But yes, I thought these were beautiful pieces, and I'm glad that I have them, and they make me special.
Yeah. Oh, it's very cute. Our artist, Melina, is very, very talented, and fulfills all of our crazy requests, such as, can you please draw a cat being arrested in a cat box? And can you make up a fake Sailor Moon universe, please?
Yep.
And she just does
Wait, what?
It'll come up in game. Don't worry. There'll be context.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Oh,
Jesus.
That's gonna be fun. So yeah, I guess since we're talking about the art, right? What does, I guess, the pipeline look like for the artist, right? Are you guys just like, you have a note on your phone or just a sticky note? You're like, okay, well, yeah, and then it's just like shoot the email, like, hey, can we make this happen like overnight? Or obviously not overnight, we don't want to rush, game development, but is there just like, do they have a list somewhere of just like, here are the things I have to draw, and then one day you get an email like, how's this one look? You're like, perfect, it's everything I envisioned.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is we had like a very short list of expressions that we started out with, and I hook up all the like dialogue in game and put all the like expressions and the characters, and then as we play through and we playtest our own stuff, we kind of see where there might be gaps, like, oh, this character kind of actually needs a more subtle, like, sad expression, and then we'll go to Mel and she'll be like, how about this, and she'll draw that and we'll put it in, or I think one of the funniest things we've added in that isn't in the demo right now is Fred can stand up on his two back legs.
Oh no.
No.
It's really creepy.
We just demanded that of her once, and she was like, yeah, okay, I can make him stand up. Yeah. And then there's the pressure to actually use the assets we forced her to draw. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but it really does go in tandem like that. Like, obviously, as a visual novel, the script and the iterations of it are the gameplay to a certain extent. So when we're going back and forth with that, every person who is working on it gets a look at the script and gets a chance to comment on it and give suggestions and feedback and things like that. And just having our artists be able to see that and go, oh, like having a pose for this will be super cool or super funny or like work really well. Being able to integrate that all across different disciplines, I think is like, yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it makes stuff go faster to a certain extent, but it also means that everyone's kind of on board with what's going on at a given time. Like there isn't really a gap between different disciplines like that. So yeah, we it's very much like a group effort, really, like in every single part. Although, I haven't drawn a single pixel on this. Yeah, that's not my skill set. I leave that to people more qualified. But that's the art.
Of course.
I am astounded by Mel and her ability to just have like a sentence and turn it into a masterpiece just in like a minute or two. It's amazing what she can do.
I think it helps that she's an animator, so she's used
perfect.
to, thumbnailing, storyboarding, and just hitting art out of the park on a very short timeline, because she's used to drawing 1 million frames a second to get it to look good.
Oh, okay. We love that. I'm infatuated with the visual style of the game. And again, that's such a thing for me of how does this game look? I'm like, well, now what's it about? So I definitely fell in love with obviously the character designs themselves. But even just like the expressions, right? I'm sitting here looking at Fred. The moment you discover Fred has like the little, don't touch my safe and goes like feral cat mode. I'm like, oh, hold on. Fred, you're a little nasty guy, but you look good. I appreciate it. So yeah, the art style is incredible.
He's so smart.
Yeah, listen, he's mean though. I don't know if I like him. Let me think. I don't have any other questions listed. Tofr, is there anything else you were thinking to ask, or?
I just wanted to shout out the writing in the demo, because I feel like the intro really draws you in with multiple facets. Like, obviously, the first thing is that it's a whodunit where you're the one who done it. But then there's also like every character gets introduced, and immediately you have like this kind of emotional bond to them. Whether it's because of some possible romantic history between two of them, or whatever, but I really like it's really well done. And I was wondering, is this basically the intro to the game, or did you adjust it slightly to like make the demo pop a bit more?
That's a good question. I mean, I think, everyone has had a hand in the intro, but with this particular draft, I wrote the bulk of the world count for it. Before, like chiseling a statue out of marble. Everyone came in and left their comments, and we kind of figured out how to actually make it good. But yeah, it obviously the demands of a demo versus the demands of the full game are different. I mean, as was mentioned earlier, being able to quickly choose choices, I think, is paramount for replayability. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily too different. I think the philosophy that I've had is very much like, it's meant to be a representative experience of what the game's like, right? So we don't want it just to feel completely fabricated and manufactured, right, just for this situation. I would say, yeah, it's pretty representative. It is meant to get across all of the characters' kind of deals and all that. Thank you for your kind words about the writing. I think it was quite important that we get across not just the main premise, but also that whole, like web of relationships between the characters, because that's kind of, another element of the mystery and, part of how you're going to manipulate them to do what you want. So that was a very important part of it as well. But yeah, I would say that it's generally pretty similar in terms of how the vibe would be going forwards, I think.
Okay, that's cool.
It's where, like, he wrote all of it, and he did an amazing job, but also there's a lot under like the hood of like little bits of characters' reactions and how they change based on your different choices. Even like you mentioned, like Alex turning off on and off the lights. Each character has a scene like that, and they all weave together in slightly different ways depending on how you've done them. And making that seamless was a lot of work. He did a really good job on that. So if you do replay it, mess around with that, and appreciate just the little touches that are in there. I'm plugging for him.
Well, thank you, thank you. Oh, by the way, both of you, have you wishlisted the game? By the way, I meant to
Yes.
ask this earlier, but I forgot. Good.
Pretty
Good.
sure
And
I
anyone
did.
listening to the podcast right now, spill the beans on Steam. Maybe I'm doing this too early for the plug.
No,
but I
you're
wanna make
totally
sure I don't
fine.
forget.
I spelled the wrong. Spill the beans.
No, I've had it wishlisted since I played the Next Fest demo.
We're good.
And I have been talking to people about the game because I'm really that excited for it. Especially in a timeline where games like Slay the Princess can take off like that. I feel like this game could be on that same level, even though it's not a horror game. Not to
Yeah.
put any pressure on you guys.
Yeah,
But I just think-
Slay the Princess's devs have a really good talk on heuristics and dialogue for their game Scarlet Hollow, and that's definitely an inspiration. They are incredible visual novel devs.
Yeah, yeah. Just reactivity, I think, is such an important kind of principle for us with all the dialogue. I mean, I'm so apologies.
Fine.
I'm really, really excited for the next iteration of our demo to come out, because just the amount of stuff that we try to have characters remember, I think, and I live for those moments as a player when I'm playing games like this. Like, I don't know, Disco Elysium is a really, really big game, like, for me personally, in terms of like, oh, what the medium can do, and sometimes it feels like that game remembers everything that you do. And to be able to kind of give that to a player and go, hey, this is only happening because you did this specific thing, and then ask them about this thing, and they kind of respond to that. Just to have that level of kind of, I don't know, life almost to how the game responds to you, I think is, I'm really excited to be able to show that off once that next kind of demo comes around. But...
Hell yeah, that's fuck. Now I'm jazzed. Hold on, can I have it today? Can we make a new demo? Or... no, this is great. I'm gonna hit you with one that's not on here yet, and you're gonna have to choose between your babies. But I need to know who everybody's favorite character is. This is very important.
I feel like mine changes all the time. But
Okay.
For now, it's Alex, my daughter. I just, it's just that kind of, anime, laugh. She's full of herself and very unabashed about it, and I love writing that. It's very fun.
That's great. Yes, I would agree. I also love Alex. She's my favorite right now. But now, I'm thinking.
Yeah. I mean, a part of me is so tempted to say Dave just to dodge the question, but...
You can't say, you're not allowed.
No, I know I'm not allowed. Like, Dave is not... For the record, for the uninitiated, Dave is a character who has maybe, I want to say, like 20 lines tops, like, in the intro, and he's, like, basically completely irrelevant in that he gets locked outside when the cafe goes down, so there's no way that he could have, like, been involved in the mystery. So he's kind of just a completely, like, vestigial, peripheral dude just hanging around. No, it's not Dave. I think, I don't know, I've spent a lot of time with them. I know this is a bit of a rogue pick, but obviously my perspective is different as a writer here. I think it's actually Fred. I like Fred quite a lot. Not necessarily because I think he's a good guy, of course. Just because, I don't know, I think it's really interesting to try and take on the perspective of someone who is just really, like, bitter about pretty much everything. And to really, like, I don't know, get into that and why that's sort of the way that it is. Maybe that says something about me. I don't know. But,
we're unpacking. It's a therapy session. We're good.
Exactly. But yeah, I would be very curious to see a player who looks at Fred and goes, maybe there is more to him, and try to kind of pick through all of that. Because I think that process of doing it for me, I found quite interesting. But we'll see. I'm sure it will change, as Storm said. But yeah,
fair enough.
That's where I'm at right now.
Okay. Now, Tofr, I gotta know who's your favorite so far. It's important the devs are here.
So far, it's probably Grudge.
Okay, I was
just
expecting Sloan.
No, I just, like, he comes in and he's like, "You're my nemesis now." How can you not love that? Like, being that dramatic, I aspire to be that kind of dramatic in life.
I remember that. Next week's episode, Tofr comes in and we're just nemesis off the rip. I'm ready for it. Perfect. I think that might be a good place to bring it home here. So unless anything else we want to mention about Spill the Beans, development process, whatever plug shenanigans you guys have, by all means, spill them. That was the pun.
Yeah, I mean, follow us on all our social media accounts at Skeletal Games, possibly Skeletal_games if someone's taken our handle unjustly. Wishlist the game on Steam, and we have a page for the Kickstarter that'll be coming in the next couple of months that you can follow if you want to be notified when that goes live.
Perfect. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, a great milestone for Playlog to have our first new episode of season 2 be our first developer interview. So this is an awesome opportunity. Guys, if you haven't played the demo yet, again, it's on Steam right now. You can check it out. We said new demo. We said a handful of months to come down the line with some new content to check out. Of course, be sure to wishlist. It's very important. And yes, follow the game on all the socials, and maybe you'll get some cool art of you with Alex on Instagram. It's important. But I think with that, we're going to pass it back to other Danny and Tofr, who are probably talking about some other games. And we're back. Thank you so much for Skeletal Games for sitting down and talking with us. That was such a fun conversation. I mean, behind the scenes, we recorded that before we started this part of the episode. So obviously, this is no longer past and future, whatever. Yeah, it was a fun discussion. Thank you guys for joining us.
Playlog Podcast, Days of Future Past.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Where does Hugh Jackman come in and tell me to fuck off? Yeah, that was that one. Yeah, okay. I had to make sure I was the right accent. We were like, that happened there? Yeah. Now, Tofr, we're going to talk about what we've been playing here in a second. But I had a fun encounter last night with some Marvel Rivals, right? Fred LB, she hits me up. She's like, hey, we're playing some Rivals. You know, I'm like, hop on. I'll play some Rivals tonight. But I don't usually play in game chat because we play in a Discord call. But our buddy Nerdy was like, hey, I'm online. We're in game chat. Now, I won't get into the setup situation, but my PlayStation headphones, they're not charged. I just use them on my PC. They're just wired in. We just do that. So I had to figure out how am I going to do comms on PlayStation? Because my other option was to use the microphone in the controller, which is kind of dog ass. It's not very good. Yeah. And then especially because it's sitting here picking up the clicks and everything, I'm like, God, what do I do? So I didn't have a second mic arm. However, I did have a dice tower and a second microphone. So last night playing Marvel Rivals, this got plugged into my PlayStation and I sat here playing Marvel Rivals because I didn't need the Discord one. So this went over here and I sat here playing Marvel Rivals with the second microphone in front of me. Sorry, audio listeners, you're not getting the visual. You want to check out the episode. But yeah, this was me last night. Thank you, Demon Artifice, for the dope dice tower. This is really cool. And I have my little Atoll sticker on there. It's hard to see, but
oh
yeah. Although the mic arm really fucked it up, so the sticker is immediately damaged. But
oh no,
yeah, that was my fun night. But yeah, so we've been playing stuff, and Tofr, let's see, you got 3, I got 2. So Tofr, I'm gonna need you to start by telling me about your first game as I fumble through folders and find the footage that I downloaded.
Okay, a while back, was it the last Next Fest? I don't remember. It was
sounds right.
Next Fest. Yeah, I played the demo for a game called Space Sprouts.
Okay.
And I was really hyped by it.
Okay.
And the devs got in touch and asked me if I wanted a key to review the game.
Yeah.
And I gladly accepted because it's a vibrant and colorful looking game about your first space voyage.
Mm-hmm.
You play as Oda, and you tell the story of how you left your homeworld behind to set off on your first journey to another planet in order to find a new home. The first time that you play the game, this journey only takes a couple of minutes, and it's pretty uneventful unless you immediately unleash your inner chaos demon. That after that first trip, you find out that you're actually Oda when she's older, and she's telling her grandchild about this journey. With her grandchild wondering what else happened during this trip. So you go back to the beginning, but you set out to explore the spaceship a bit more, interacting with basically anything and everything you can find within. Each time you recount your journey, your grandchild will ask for more memories and more details, and it's up to you to try and find out. You do this by basically proving that science is a lot of fun. You know, like we used to know before people started saying that scientists have agendas and can't be trusted and other bullshit like that.
America. I mean, it's worldwide, but America.
It's worldwide. It's worldwide. But basically, everything is trial and error. For example, you can use a pair of scissors to cut away plants blocking a passage, but then I also use them to give myself a haircut.
Okay.
Yeah. Every item that you see in the game, you can pick up and play around with. That means that the ship that you travel on feels like a living, breathing thing.
Okay.
There's history here, with plenty of people having made the same journey before you. And this history is there to be discovered as you roll into your own, further on into your own history. But yeah, that's basically the game. You take the knowledge from previous playthroughs into new runs and try to uncover all 100 memories. As you play, every time you uncover new memories, the timer on your next trip will be a bit longer. So you start with like a 3-minute timer, but then as you go on, like there was a moment in time when I had 10 minutes to explore the spaceship.
Okay.
So you managed to go deeper into the game. It reminded me a bit of that game Minute,
Yes.
where you're on a strict time limit and you have to find ways to get deeper into the spaceship, and uncover more memories. It's basically that gameplay loop,
Okay.
but with an entire spaceship that's just basically a playground. And I have to say, it's a really fantastic game. People
Hell
who
yeah.
are watching the video version can see that the colors and the art is vibrant. The game sounds phenomenal as well. The music is good and the sounds are really nice. And it plays beautifully as well on mouse and keyboard.
Okay. Cool.
Playing it on controller is not ideal. It's
okay.
possible, but the game really wasn't made for it. It hasn't been optimized for it. This isn't one to like take along on your Steam Deck or anything. This is one to play at your PC. But yeah, it released March 31st, and what a banger to end the month with.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? Because I'm a couple things I'm thinking about, right? First, I want to mention like the controller thing, right? Because it's a 2D platformer. I think that's reductive to say that's all it is, but like for gameplay wise, it's a 2D platformer. And that's normally like, you don't want to use mouse and keyboard for that. You want controller. So like, is it that maybe the inputs aren't great? Is it not just overall it's like weird crab hand, like it doesn't feel good? Like what makes it not really controller savvy?
It's the inputs. Like, I don't know why, but it didn't feel right to play it.
Okay.
When you play mouse and keyboard, so you basically running around is just with your keyboard.
Yeah.
The usual stuff.
Left, right, jump.
And then interacting with items as you grab them with your mouse.
Okay.
And then if there are more ways to interact with them, it's usually just pressing E.
Okay.
On your keyboard. But yeah, it didn't really translate to the gamepad for some reason.
Okay. Oh, that stinks. And then I also
it's not a reason to like stop you from playing, because the controls are basic enough on mouse and keyboard, even for someone like me who's not used to playing mouse and keyboard. I quickly picked it up.
Okay. Sick. I like that. At least, it functions. It's good. I think back to what I was like. I played Neva on mouse and keyboard, which wasn't ideal, but I still loved it because I wanted to play the game. So, then I wanted to bring it back. You mentioned earlier about like the memories, right? Where the more progress you make, the more memories you have. Is that something that is tailored to as the player you have memories, or more the character has memories? Because I think of something like Card Shark, where like, yes, your character is learning how to do card tricks, but it's very dependent on you memorizing the controls of doing that. Like, I have to cut this way, I have to hit this button to slide the card left to right, whatever. So is it you as Tofr were like, I remembered how this thing works and now I played it, or my character remembers, so when I go to activate something, it initiates because she knows what she's doing?
It's more like you remember things happening, and you could, like, the character can tell these things to her grandchild.
Okay, so
for
less
example,
of a gameplay element.
Like, let me see, what can I mention?
Sure.
there is a room within the spaceship that holds a black hole.
Okay.
For some reason.
Simple.
Yeah. And you can jump into the black hole. And that unlocks a memory of what it feels like to jump in a black hole.
Okay.
So, and then you can tell your grandchild, like, I jumped into a black hole and survived.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Why would you do that?
As a player, there's not that much that you need to like memorize.
Okay.
The only thing I can think of is there's like a duplicator machine.
Yeah.
Where you have to enter certain codes to get certain items. And with every new run, if you want those items, you have to get them from the duplicator again.
Okay.
So you have to remember those codes. But that's the only thing that you really need to remember. Also, the layout to the ship might be interesting to remember.
Okay.
Because it's a maze.
Hell yeah. I'm hearing the GTA cheat sheets again of like, all right, this one gives me infinite ammo. This one gives me the rocket launcher. Yep. Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, the game looks great. I remember you talking about it during Next Fest and I was super interested. It looked fun. And I forget if there was a game that you got 2 keys for and gave me one. I want to say it was this, but I don't recall. It might have been something else.
I don't think it was.
I
think they were going to get in touch with you, but I don't know if they did.
Was there another game with Sprout in the title that might have been there? I want to say it was. I don't remember.
Not that I remember.
I'm going my fucking lie. Let me see. Do I got this game? Do I have this game? Close this. Not visual novels anymore. Nope, I don't have it. Yeah, I don't remember what you gave me. No? Okay. I'll check our DMs. Be like, oh no, you sent me this. It's something. There's so many fucking games in this library, man. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But hey, so have you completed the game? Or are you still playing through it?
I'm still playing through it.
Okay.
But it's I'm gonna keep playing through it because it's that good.
No, yeah. Do you know how many hours you have in it?
I think I'm about 5 hours in.
Okay.
I think I think I've seen people mention that it takes about 10 hours to finish.
Okay.
If you want to get like all 100 memories.
I bet.
Which is also the achievements on Steam. So if you want to complete the game, about 10 hours.
PlayStation. First, we're gonna have to optimize those controls. You know what I mean? And then let's talk PlayStation. Let's get a platinum. Let me get the memories.
Hell yeah.
Sick. I don't need to do timestamps because it's already a Fuguki episode. But Tofr, I have been playing Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days.
Yes.
I talked about this game around this time last year. I got to play it behind closed doors at PAX. It was a really cool event. They shot me the email. Do you want to check out our game? Really can't talk about it yet, but we'll know more when we get there. They had a really nice like hotel room set up where like they had all this stuff set aside. It was for Pickpocket, the developer, and they had a couple different games on display. Where I got to play a VR horse game, but they had a little station where I got to sit. I got a hat. Oh, I should have had the hat. I don't have the hat for this episode, Tofr.
No.
They gave me a hat that says "Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days," and maybe I'll put a selfie in here on Instagram or something. But so Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days. I guess Into the Dead is a franchise that they've made for a while. I think the other 2 games are on mobile. But this is the first PC game. And the whole thing is a 2.5D survival game where you are in Texas during a zombie apocalypse. The way the game works is I mentioned it to you and you were very like, it looks like This War of Mine. And it's very similar to that. This one has a lot more interactions to it. So I hesitate, or I'll say yes, very much like This War is Mine. However, with the caveat of blah, 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 blah. I was infatuated with this game. When I got to play it at PAX, it was such a fun surprise. And I had a very vertical slice of like, here's 3 levels that are going to introduce some of the mechanics. Where I'm currently at in my early access play, I'm still fairly early. I haven't experienced a lot of those things that I've seen before. But as you start the game, they give you the option to pick from a variety of like duos. So you start every run with these 2 characters or these 2 characters. There's the difference of like, I'm a writing teacher and I've had this trouble student. I'm a hard ass coach and I've got my like MVP quarterback. We have the lady who went to protest the rodeos. And when she got there, she's like, wait, that guy's kind of hot. And then fell in love with the dude. He's like, hey, rodeos ain't that bad, darling. Like you have all these different archetypes, and like those are who you're starting the apocalypse with. Sorry, the footage is choppy. We'll fix it. But yeah, so you have like a selection. I think it's like 5 or 6 different teams you can pick, and then each one will start at a different part of town or with a different selection of medicines, weapons, tools, etc. As you start in your shelter, you have to barricade it, right? Like it already starts with some barricade, but every night the zombies are trying to break in, and your goal is to make sure that they don't get you, or if they're gonna get you, that you move to another shelter to stay safe. You always just want to keep moving, keep going, getting supplies, moving to a new place that's more secure, and picking up new survivors along the way, so you have a stronger army team, I guess, is what you want to do. I started my first run here with the coach and like MVB player team. It is Daryl and Leo, I believe are their names. And you start, you go to the small house somewhere in Texas. You're just exploring, kind of get your hands on like how the controls work. And it's a lot of stop, scavenge. And then if you run into a zombie, you can either stealth past them, but you want to do it semi-quick, because if you kind of linger, they'll be like, "I smell you, I'm gonna get you." Or you could just start swinging. And there's a lot of, I was gonna say a lot of nuance to controls, and that's not true at all. It is very just like walk in, smack, dodge kind of thing to make sure you're not, dying. But you can go to a door and like peek in, and you can see like, okay, nothing's walking in this room. I can go in. You can see in the footage, I did not know the button to open the door. I kept trying to figure it out, and I just go, but yeah, I've had a couple times where I got tripped up because there is a like LT does like a back lunge, so you can dodge an attack. I would often try to run and then dodge, so I'd like turn and then dodge into the zombie and then die. I'm like, no, wait, I fucked up. So that was a problem, but I think that's more of just learning curve of the controls. But I'm really enjoying this game. Again, because I got to speak to him at PAX, I got like an inside look of what this meant to them, like what the game was going to be like, what they wanted to include. And one of the first questions I asked was like, hey, there's this stigma around early access, right? Like, I won't buy it till it's fully released. Like, what are you guys doing to work around that? And they're like, we want the goal to be having a game that's maybe not feature complete, but like you can play through the game, you can like complete the game, right? And then there's just more stuff to come. There's more scenarios. Like as you're exploring, you come up with plans to escape the city. So like once you start and open the menu, you currently have no plans. You haven't discovered anything to escape. So your whole goal is to go from settlement to settlement, find things, find people. And then once you have a plan, execute that plan and then leave. I've not been able to do that yet. I've died. So I don't know exactly what that looks like. But like you have day and night. You start the day, you send somebody out, or well, you can send somebody out. You don't have to, you should, because that's kind of where the main gameplay element is. But you could go to someone and be like, hey, you stay here, you build the barricade, you stay here, you cook meals so we have things to eat. You go sleep. I can tell you're exhausted. And then as you send people out, there's the chance for these like traumatic moments. And what those do is they'll like temporarily affect your character's like ability to heal or rest or anything like that. I haven't experienced that here at home, but at the behind closed doors segment, I was in like a police station, and when you walk in, like the lockers where they keep their weapons were just bodies hung up, hooks through the face. Like it's a traumatic thing, and it like affects your character. Like, oh God, I'm scarred. And I can't remember the name of the status, but like it affects them. Like my character can no longer do this for like 4 phases, which is like 4 day night, type deals. And I thought that was really cool because it changes the way you have to play. And it might keep you more weary as you're exploring different locations of like, be careful, because I walk in here and touch this, my quarterback won't be able to do a thing anymore. But like also then you take them home and like, now I got to use the other characters that I have. I've yet to recruit any other survivors. Let me tell you the story of Daryl and Leo and how this all went. I sent Daryl out to a video store where on the roof he was exploring, and a zombie woke up because I was walking too loud. That's where I bumbled, and I didn't save Daryl. I like dodged backwards into the zombie, and Daryl died. So that left Leo alone. Leo was all alone, so Leo was the only character I had to do anything. I'm getting a spam call. Leave me alone. So yeah, once Daryl dies, Daryl's body is left there with all the equipment he took with him. Any weapons, medicine, everything is in that location. It's not gone. It's just sitting there. So then next session or next phase, I'm like, let me go take Leo. I go back to the same location because I want to get those things. No immediate interaction. Like I just see the body's dead. Oh no, Daryl's gone, but I got all my stuff back. But then the following night, I send Leo out to another location where I found a survivor. He walked through a door and I thought he was a zombie, so I went to run. He's like, hey, you better get out of here, kid. I'm like, well, hold on. Maybe I can talk you into letting me stay or you joining me or XYZ. And then I fucked up and hit him when I had like 1 health. So he hit me back and I died, which ended my run. I mean, I'm trying to find the clip of me fucking dying in this game. Is it here? It's not this session. It's not here. Anyway, I'll let it run. But yeah, so I lost my first run, but then I ended up going with the girl who wants to talk to the cowboy and falls in love team. That's my current run. I've not made it very far. I'm only on the first or like second day there, so I'm still progressing with them. But I really like the loop of this game. I'm finding the go out, scavenge for stuff, come back, see how it affects. This guy's tired now, so I got to fix that. This guy's hungry, got to fix that. There's a few like quality of life things that I'm hoping I see improved as we go. Like you just have like 1 backpack of inventory, which is totally fine. It fits, it works. But some items can be used out in the wild. Some items have to be used at the shelter. Some items can only be used when like, oh, I broke something. So like I use that to fix a broken arm, or, I do XYZ. That isn't very clearly labeled unless you just read the description. So like sometimes I'll be out and I'm like, okay, I lost a little health. Let me use this med kit. I'm like, why can't I use this med kit? Oh, it's because I have to use it, but it only affects me at the end of the day. So like I'll heal and then I'm actively healing, but it does until I end the day or go home. Then my health goes up. So it's one of those like, okay, I would love what is my quick, like my arm hurts, wrap it up and move on. Like I currently don't have medicine for that. Or if I do, I don't know how to use it. But then I die, so it really doesn't matter if I heal or not. But yeah, the cycle of going in, finding stuff, and being so scarce with, I say my resources, but my people, the people I can play as and explore as, you only get so many. And since I've not been able to recruit anybody else or find anybody else, it's been tough because I'm like, I want to send you out, and if I don't send you out, we won't get resources. But if we don't get resources, we die. So like, I got to do something. I got to find a way. So, there are like a lot of stakes. Yeah. And like these zombies will come and get me, but I'm like, let me be quiet. Let me be stealthy. Let me get past these guys. Do the thing. And like in here, this one's sitting on the bed. I'm like, she could see me, but what if I just don't do anything? What if I go take the loot out of here and put this stuff in the bag, and then jump out the window or like anything, right? There's a lot of stealth to it, but I think if you wanted to choose to run and gun it, you absolutely could. I don't recommend it. It's probably not safe. Now I may have picked a bad team that doesn't have a lot of good melee weapons to start. And going out to find someone like, I have this knife, it's about to break and I've got nothing else to contribute. So this is not good, but we'll work with it. But yeah, I think this leaves you to level yourself up in like your skill for the game to then play it how you want. But definitely out the rip, I was a lot more like, I got to stealth this. I got to be quiet and not let anybody get me. I got to be shush, and we'll move on. But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. I want to get further in and see more of like the circumstances, find more people to recruit, find better items. It's just a zombie chase after you, man. I don't like it. But yeah, the game is fun. I definitely recommend checking it out in early access here. I know they have a roadmap. I can't think of what exactly is getting added or updated along the way, but I'm just as impressed as I was when I played it at PAX. It's been about a year now. I've checked out a couple other demos, but it was mostly the same stuff I'd already played. So I'm excited to get further in and see more of what the game will have to offer, and then watch me lose everything. Like, fuck, I had so much good shit.
Yeah. I did notice that this game is set in the 80s.
Yes.
Does that influence like the story at all?
Not where I've been so far. The game's not, as far as during gameplay, you're not really getting a lot of here's the narrative beats and everything that's happening. It's a lot of the go out and survive. And when you go to a place, so far, as for what I see, every place has a telescope. And if you go to that telescope, you'll discover more places to explore. So like you'll start with like, here's our shelter, here's 2 spaces. If I go to the garage, I get on the roof. Oh, cool. I found the video store and I found the strip club, I guess, down the street or something, right? And then I can go to one of them and I find another telescope. Oh, cool. Now I found the motel, or I found the docks that have blah, 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 blah. So it is a lot more of the experiencing the world and surviving, less the story. But like I said, each set of characters have here's how we got together, or like I know one of the set of characters is the therapist and her client, of like they were in a meeting and then everything went to shit. So now they're like, they needed each other more than they expected. So now they're surviving together. But each character will come with stats, and I can't think of off the top of my head, but they'll be like, this guy sleeps better, but after this happens, such and such will happen. And I think it seems like it's 2 positives and a negative. So you have to like weigh when you take a character, how do they work this way or the other? Narratively, so far, it hasn't seemed to be much of a play. It seems like the setting's 1980. You know where you're at.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't experienced a lot culturally in the game that feels like it really changed anything. That might evolve as I get further. Again, the only person I've met to speak to, I fucked up and tried to kill by accident. So, could change, could be different, but yeah, I would love to see more narrative stuff show up. Like there's no cutscenes or anything, which I think is fine. It's nice to have just the gameplay of it, but yeah, feeling like the characters are evolving and doing stuff. They more just have like little dialogue to themselves. I'm like, I gotta move on. Like, if someone dies, everybody at the shelter will gain grieving, which is, I think, nerfs your ability to rest or something like that. I forget. I only had one guy, so it really didn't matter what he had. He had to go out. So, but yeah, there's a lot of things to track, and it will probably sound overwhelming at first, but it is really cool to see how that is like plays. Another like weird bug thing that was not a huge deal, but like kind of wish I got the stuff. This truck here, for anyone watching the video one, I unlocked it, and then there's an option to open it, but I couldn't take anything out of the truck. Like it seemed like the prompt overlapped itself, so I couldn't. Oh, no. I unlocked it, I opened it, but there was nothing to loot. So I was like, do I have to hide in here? Is it broken? So I sat here for probably like 40 seconds. Like, I can't get it. All right, I'm just going to go home. So I meant to go back and see if it like reset itself, because I think each setting stays the same. Zombies might respawn, but if you left a body there, or if you left items, I think you can go and retrieve those or pick those up if you go and revisit in that same run. So
it does look cool, and I think the setting of being in the 80s adds to like this this feeling of solitude that you can experience when there's no one around except for the zombies. So that I hope it gets worked out like a bit more. Yeah, maybe some more story beats. But yeah, looks like a cool game.
Yeah, dude. And again, it's the early access thing of like, gonna be good, gonna be bad. Is it a full game? I've with the exception of a few nitpicks like this happened or that happened, whatever, like I'm having a great time. I know this game's not for everybody. Like, I don't think I can scream like everyone in the world has to play Into the Dead. Like, but I think people could look at this like, oh, this looks like something I would like. I think you'll enjoy it. Like, it's polished enough. It's got different ways to play. It's got these different characters. You have a lot of, I want to say customization, but like you have your choice in how you want to explore, how you want to survive. And I think that's really cool. So yeah, I think there's fun to be had here. And I'm excited to see what else I can do after I'm sure my young couple dies. And maybe I'll go with the therapist next and see how that goes.
Therapy is always a good option.
It is. Guys, go to therapy. Only if you need it. Give it a shot. But yeah, Into the Dead. So, Tofr, what else you got for me?
I played a couple of demos.
I do see.
The first one being a Welcome to Elderfield.
Okay.
So what do you get when you combine something cozy like Stardew Valley with the spookiness and twisted style of something like Scarlet Hollow?
Okay.
You get Welcome to Elderfield. This beautiful yet eerie-looking farming sim comes with most of the things that modern farming sims offer. You've got you can plant things. I think you can have animals as well. Ooh. You can go fishing. There's some mining to do. But it also has turn-based battles and beseeching the old gods.
Oh,
because
That pumpkin's cool as shit.
Yeah. Just about everything in this world is weird. The
Okay.
people you meet, the monsters you battle, etc. The horror in this game doesn't come from like jump scares or anything like that, but from this unsettling feeling, really. Like it looks like the world that we know, but something's off.
Okay.
For example, in this game, you don't have your own farm, but you go work for a farmer. Now, this farmer has literally shed his skin.
Oh.
So he's a skeleton now. But since he shed his skin, his bones have kept on growing. So much so that he can't leave his home anymore, as he can't make it out the door. He's too big. So you have to do the farming for him.
Okay.
It's so weird. Like I went into a mall, and then I ran into a person and we talked. Then I walked a bit further and I was attacked by a shopper.
Oh no.
Which was just basically a person shopping, but that had turned into a monster. But then I talked to a skeleton who apparently thought that at least I was one of the normal ones.
Okay.
I'm like, you're a skeleton who's talking to me. I don't get it. And it's just it's really cool. I think I played it for about half an hour.
Okay.
Just roaming around this town, and it's so unsettling, but in a really intriguing way. Even when you're asleep, you can die. There's like a dice roll during the night to see what happens, and it can favor you, or it can really, really hurt you.
Oh,
And
so
it's so cool.
Is it like not a roguelike, but is there an actual death mechanic, or is it more of the you died, respawn at your house type deal? Like what does that death entail?
No idea about that yet.
Okay, Tofer's like, I ain't die yet.
I didn't die. I fought the battles and I won.
Okay, hell yeah. That's how we play, baby.
Yeah. But I'm not sure. There might be a way that you can come back from the dead.
Okay.
I mean, it would fit this game
Yeah.
if that were the case. But I'm not sure.
Okay. This is cool. I think back, maybe years ago, I made a tweet where I was just like, hey, anybody got like a horror Animal Crossing? I don't really know what that is, and I can't think of a game, but like, who's got it? And like, I had some people like it, retweet, but like, no one had an answer. And I was like, okay, so there's gotta be something, but like, not getting the audience I need to answer this question. And I look at this, I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the spot. This is here. And this looks really cool. Again, like we've talked before, like the farming sim isn't usually my like cup of tea. It takes like a Moonstone Island or a potion permit where I'm like, oh, okay, this is cute. I like this one a lot. And this looks sick. I really like the vibe of this. I can see friends who are like, I love Stardew. I need something new. Being like, hold on. Tofr showed me this game. You should check this one out. Yeah, this looks sick.
Yeah, it plays really well. And let me check if there is a date for that, but I don't think so yet.
Yeah, it looks like just coming
no, it just says coming soon.
Okay. We got to wish list that one.
But the demo is still live.
Yeah.
And if this at all seems like something you could be into, go for it. Even if it's just for some of the gorgeous art, because I think like the people and the creatures you meet are unsettling, but really well drawn.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got the Tim Burton-ness. Did we cancel Tim Burton? Do we not like Tim Burton? Oh, I forget if we hate Tim Burton now.
No
idea. I feel like everyone gets canceled. I'm like, wait, I forget. But yeah, the visual style, like, yeah, it shares that a lot. And then there's the grunginess of the sprite work that I really like. Like, I don't know what about that stop sign, but that's a nice ass stop sign, Tofr. I like that stop sign.
It is.
Sick, dude.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, welcome to Elderfield. That looks really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna
Go
let's
and
add that to
wishlist.
library. I did. All right. Let me see. Oh, Tofr.
I like the enthusiasm already.
Tofr. I made a TikTok last year talking about the game I got announced had a Kickstarter. It's called Outbound. It is this first-person cozy game where you live a life in a van. You know, you're upgrading the van, you're exploring the wilderness, and living off the land type deal. I got access to the alpha this morning, so I played for a couple hours before we sat down to record. Man, I'm having such a good time. This game is really cozy. It's the first thing I thought, right, and I go into this knowing the expectation, but like immediate Firewatch energy of the visual style, and then of course it's a first person game, so you're having that same like I'm picking up shit in first person. I have, it's very similar to Firewatch. That being said, it doesn't share the narrative beats, right? So if you're into it for like, oh, the walkie-talkie relationship, like, oh, I can't wait to see that. That's not something that's come up. It's very 99% the survival game portion. I don't even say the 1% story. I feel like you just go out and you do the damn thing. So important note in case the Firewatch got your goat, just know that's the thing. But yes, I got access to the alpha. I started playing this morning. You start the whole thing off by, you get your van. It looks like there's going to be different types of vans in the full game that you can unlock, but right now it's just the one.
Okay.
You pick your colors. You're like, what colors do I want? And then you're out in the wild. You're in the van and you're like, all right, start driving. You get to this tutorial zone, which introduces you to like, hey, here's how you park the van. Here's how you set up camp. Have fun with that. And they're like, hey, pick a landmark and go there. You open the map and they will show you like, here's where the Firewatch Tower is. Again, not the Firewatch Tower, but a Firewatch Tower. Like this is here, but like if you want to go, oh, the barricade's closed. How are we going to open it? You need a wrench. Okay, well, how do I get a wrench? It's a very concealed area, so like it's not hard to get through the tutorial. But you find this tower that's giving off a signal, and when you go there, it gives you the option to download blueprints. And the first one you get is just like simple tools. It gives you the recipe for a wrench and a hammer. And those are like your first initial set of tools. And as you progress, there's a lot of things in this game, like recycling, like picking up litter. 1 second, the phone is ringing. That's really annoying. All right, she said goodbye. She's gone. Sorry, guys, had to cut that out. Can't have you know about my parents' fucking doctor's appointments, guys. Can't be doing that. And then it fucking beeps on me. Anyway, what was I saying? There's a lot of systems in this game, a lot of like moving parts that I think you at first feel like you could just, I'm going to do one thing and then just not really worry about the others until I have to. And that's kind of what I did starting off, but everything kind of coexist. Everything matters for the next thing, right? So once you get out, you find litter, you put it in your bag. Like, I don't know what I do with this. You find another signal tower, which gives you a brand new recipe for a recycler. That recycler gives you blueprint tickets, which when you find a new tower, which they'll be scattered all around the map, you will get a new blueprint. So you go on there, you're like, I want the one for the sickle. I want the one for the pickaxe so I can mine rocks. But the recycled items turn into those tickets so you can buy new blueprints. So it's one of those things you have to make sure you're doing all those things as you're going. New blueprint will equal new tool. It'll equal new asset that I can use for my van. So I get the recycler. I get a sawmill that'll turn lumber into planks. So everything revolving around you evolving your van or what you can build and what you can do to make resources is all kind of built around each other. So it's important to kind of do everything. Something I would love for them to add to this game is like a dash cam. So I could just see myself every time I stop the van. Cause I'm like, oh, I found 6 things of lumber, and it's just me getting out, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Oh, set the fire over here. And then, back in the van, drive another 10 feet to do it all over again. Right. So like, I got in the habit of like, maybe I'll just walk around a bit, and find my stuff. And I'm like, oh, my van's like 300 meters away. I'll keep walking for a bit. Right. But like, it is so fun to explore and find things in this world. And so far I haven't discovered a lot of like, oh my God, look at this crazy secret. It's just, here's a new material. I didn't see this before. It's a rock. It's fibers to make, fabric and stuff. It's not like you're finding crazy, finding crazy like alien technology or some shit. You're just finding new shit to add to your like resources. But then when you bring it back to the van, you open the whole campsite. So you have your tables, your cooking stations. There's collectibles. So you can find like little gnomes that are great. And I don't think I showed it, but like my license plate says Nomi. You get to pick your own license plate at the beginning. And then there's vending machines. So if you find bottle caps, you can use those to get little just doodads for your van. I currently have like 3 like little rubber ducks that I can put in there. One's like a scuba duck. One's just a regular like mallard. And just fun little like customizable things. But like I've thoroughly enjoyed in 2-3-ish hours just roaming the world and getting lost in what's in front of me. Where like my objective is to go over there and get that tower, go see what's at the tower, right? But then on the way there, I found the tree or I found a signal tower. So whatever. The van runs on a battery, so you have to charge it by like burning wood. I don't know. It's a bio engine or something. So you like put the wood in, converts it into energy to recharge your battery in the van. So I'll often be like, all right, I'll set this up. The sawmill's doing this. The recycler's doing this. The van's recharging itself. I'm going to walk over there. By the time I get back, everything should be reset. And I've picked up a bunch of new stuff. And it's even better because I'll just grab everything. So I'm over encumbered and then just slowly march back to the van. I'm like, you'll be done by the time I get back. I'm coming. I'm on the way. But it's really cozy. There's no like hazards so far. There's some fall damage, which I learned the hard way. I didn't die, but I was climbing out of a treehouse and I for some reason couldn't grab the ladder, and I just like broke my ankles. But I was good. I would be hypocritical not to mention it because I always complained about it in Red Dead that there's like survival mechanics, right? Where it's like, oh, I got to eat or I got to smoke a cigarette or I got to do whatever to stay alive. So it is the case of like you have a stomach meter as you walk around and grab berries, you got to eat those. You get a cooking station so you can make soups and teas. The tea will fix your health. The soup will fix your hunger. And there's the third item, which I haven't gotten the mushrooms for, so I don't know. I think it might make the same ingredient. I don't know if it's any different, but if your hunger goes down, you'll slowly lose health. Very Minecraft-like. Where you're just like, it just ticks down. Again, I don't know what fail state looks like. I wouldn't let myself die. I was like, eat the berries. But it's really fun to just discover stuff. Cause right now I have a very basic van, where I just have like, I open the curtain. I have like 8 or 9 spots or something like that. You put like lamps or tools, equipment. And then there's like 6 spots in the van itself. But I just got the blueprint for my first upgrade, which will let me put stuff on the roof. So now, but I need new equipment. And I think I've like deforested my one section where I'm like, I currently can't find lumber. So I have to find new one. I found a new section of the world that has a new type of wood, but I need to get the level 2 axe to cut it. So I need to find a signal station that will allow me to get that recipe so I can upgrade it. So it sounds tedious of like, I can't do thing until I do thing, but it's that checklist thing that I think people of like Stardew game or like people like that of, okay, so I know I need wood. So if I get the wood, I need to get the axe. To get the axe, I need to get this. To get here, I need to find the blueprint. And it's like down the list of, got it. I have my list. I'm going to do these things. And then, of course, along the way, I get lost by doing this one over here or this one over there. Few things I'm just thinking off like the top of my head. I would like a like quick map button while you're driving. It's just like M, but like I feel like a right click would be a great just like, okay, cool. Got it. I know where I'm going. Cause it is kind of me stopping, opening the map. Got it. You know, and it's slow paced enough that it really doesn't matter, but I think it's just a nice, quick little, like fix my shit. Some of these signal towers will like reactivate after you use them. Like the third one I found like turned back on after I was leaving. Actually, can I find that? Cause it's like really pretty. There's like a tree house, that you can, you start to explore. I'm looking around this treehouse. I'm finding the items that I need. I go to leave. Here. And then it's just like, you climb up there. There's items. Sometimes there's resources and food. You see, like, I'm picking up the fiber here. This is where I found some of the gnomes, little collectibles. And it's a lot of just kind of walk around. I don't know how big the world in the alpha is compared to what the final product will be. I've already explored maybe 60% of what this map has. And I've gotten half of the objectives, so I need to see what like the end of the alpha looks like right now. But yeah, you kind of just exist. After coming off of Wanderstop last month, where it is, here's your objective, just kind of do whatever you got to do. It's not that open. It's not that just exist in your own pace. But it is the freedom of what do I want to do next? And then once I find what I want to do next, I find how do I accomplish that? Where do I get the blueprint? Where do I get this thing? I just got a new item, which is a research station, which wants me to find out how to upgrade the engine of my van, because now I found steep slopes and I want to go up a mountain, but my van can't handle it. So yeah, I have to find the resources to do the research. I think right now I need lumber. So once I get more wood, I could do the research, find out how to upgrade my engine, and then find the parts to upgrade my engine and then move to that new area. So it is a lot of building your own checklists, which I really enjoy. Game's pretty. Music's very pretty. It kind of kicks in just randomly, almost just one of those, like, it's kind of quiet. You're enjoying the serene, whatever's going on. And then just, a nice little track kicked in.
Nice.
I was ready to go to bed, man. I was sleepy, but there's days where it starts to rain, and my default white noise is like rain on a train car, where I'm just like, oh, this feels good. This feels good. And it's just, it's the pitter patter of the rain on the top of the van. You open the canopy and you hear it like trickling on the fabric. I'm like, it sounds so good. I'm enjoying this so much. Yeah. I'm so impressed with what this game is. I'm having such a fun time. It's usually one of those things I'm like, okay, I talked about in the podcast, like I could play more, I could wait for the full game, but like I would like to see this alpha through to the end and see if there's anything else that I'm like, I haven't seen yet that's important to note. But I'm having a blast. It's so cool.
Nice. It kind of like the vibe it's giving is reminds me of Fruit Bus.
Yes. Yep.
which released
100%.
last year, where you're driving around in your van, occasionally making fruit salads.
Yeah.
But yeah, this looks and the graphics are beautiful.
Yes.
I love the tones of the colors.
Yes. Oh. So
I'm
pretty.
very curious to see. Like I think I remember they were going to showcase something during the III initiative.
Correct,
this
which
week?
would have happened this morning by the time you're watching this episode of the podcast. Current
Yeah.
Danny and Tofr don't know, but
No.
if you haven't seen that reaction, will probably be uploaded a few hours after this episode goes out. But the reaction was live on Twitch. Anyway, there's the plug. But yeah, like I said, there's so much of this interacts with this and this does this, and letting yourself kind of build your own like mental system of how you want to do things, how you want to organize your van, how you want to use your time, because the day does tick by. There's a certain point in the night where it's like, hey, it's too late to drive. You just go to bed. You can go to bed early, but I think I go to bed at just when the game tells me to. I'm like, okay, I can't do anything else. But like, I think I went to I accidentally clicked on the bed at one point. It was like, you're going to lose like minus 25 hunger. I'm like, oh, is that just every time I go to sleep, or is that because I'm going to bed too early? So that might be the thing. But yeah, I'm excited to see. I have the sewing machine now, so I'm ready to upgrade my backpack. I just need the fibers, and I'm in another part of the world, so I need to go back and get fibers so I can do that. Super chill, super cozy. I'm finding areas that are like cut off, or like, this is closed right now, but there's like a cave that's just like, rock slide, don't go in here. I'm like, I'll wait till I get in there. When I get in there, I'm gonna find some shit. I'm gonna find some stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, the world's nice to explore. It's really just kind of open, simple. Yeah, I want more. I'm ready for more.
I can imagine. You got me psyched for this now.
I got you. You on the hook, baby. Yeah, I think their Kickstarter is going back up, or is still up. I think they're already successful in the Kickstarter. I don't recall. I got a lot of emails about this game. I forget.
I seem to remember there being a Kickstarter a while back. Let me see if I can find anything.
Yeah. You think there's any other things I want to mention, just because really cool game. Yeah,
also,
for video
like,
watchers,
this is going to be multiplayer, which is really cool.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't think to mention that. I don't know anyone else who has the alpha, so I didn't even think to try the mode. But yeah, I want to see what that looks like. And once I remember that was there, I'm like, oh, maybe I could get my dash cam thing, because I want to see what the characters look like. There is no identity. There's no characters. Your hands, right? You are that. So once you can have friends, I'm like, what does the character look like? Oh, look at you. Because there was no customization options for the character. It was just the van itself. And there was a dog. I'm like, where's the dog at? There was a dog in the intro cutscene where I was making the van. Okay. So where'd the dog? So maybe we get a dog later.
Listen, I backed the project on Kickstarter. So when this comes out, we're playing this together.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. I'm ready. Yeah, dude. It looks so much fun. I'd love to see what building a world looks like in like co-op of like, because you're like build a settlement. Your settlement is your van. So like, I assume we both can adjust, like, oh, I'm going to put this here, I'm going to move this here and do whatever. Or like, do we both get a van? I don't really, like, could you go one way and I go the other? Do we, like, I have to assume it's one van, but again, I haven't played multiplayer, so I can't speak to it, but I like the idea of each having a van. You just see separate vans driving around the open world and doing things. That'd be fun.
And anyone passing by can just hear like, because we're having such a good time.
What those guys doing? Damn. Yeah, I've, like I said, about 2.5, 3-ish hours I played. I've enjoyed exploring. I'm excited to see what else is out there. What are the things the game's going to introduce for me? And then play the full game someday.
Nice.
But with that, Tofr, you have one more game you've been playing.
I do have one more game. And it's another game where something very weird is happening.
No, not weird.
This one is called, I think it's pronounced Skogdal.
Okay.
It's a deck building adventure game set in a rustic Norwegian town during the 90s.
Well, it doesn't sound like a U game at all.
No. The hand-drawn art is fantastic here. And the soundtrack rocks hard. Like it's rock music and I love it. What I appreciate about this game is that rather than traveling through procedurally generated dungeons, Skogdal sees you travel a large handcrafted world across multiple runs.
Okay.
So there's a story there to be experienced. The gameplay is like the idea behind the game is to reflect the lives of young adults back in the 90s. And I feel like from what I've played, they kind of nail it.
Okay.
Because both the graphics, the music, and even the sense of humor remind me a lot of like that 90s era of MTV.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you are too young to have experienced that.
What are you talking about? I had 5
It
years.
was like this slightly edgy, slightly weird Beavis and Butthead kind of humor.
Okay.
And they nail it here. With the addition that gameplay is really cool as well. For example, something that I really liked in this demo is the addition of followers who are characters who will fight along with you. But like you can one of the statuses that you can inflict on enemies is depression. Because obviously. But yeah, I have no idea what's going on in this world yet. Because you go outside of your own house and people start fighting you and you don't know why. And then all of a sudden there's birds fighting you. And you don't know why. But yeah, I noticed that I think it was last night that the game got a April 28th release date.
Did you see that?
So I decided to give the demo a try to see if like April is a really busy month.
Yeah, it is.
When it comes to indie games.
Yo.
I wanted to see if this is a game that I'll pick up on release, and I can now say that it definitely is.
Hell yeah. It looks cool. I do like the sketchy art style a lot. The like teenage boys notebook type deal.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool. Yeah. So, okay. And I don't know, at one point here in the trailer, there was just like, someone got hit with like 90 cards. I'm like, what the fuck? What combo did you use?
Damn. I didn't come across that during my playthrough.
You got to get the combos, Tofr. You got to get it down. Practice
Apparently.
again.
Yeah, I did die, so yeah.
Come on, man. What are we doing? We can't be lacking.
It's a skill issue, I know.
Yeah, this looks sick. You said what? April was 28th. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So not far. Right around the corner. I'm gonna add that one to the library real quick because it does look cool.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
Hell yeah, dude. Fucking, you gotta play more roguelike deck builders.
Listen, this year is gonna be insane for roguelike deck builders.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm checking them all. Well, not all of them, but I'm trying to check out a lot of them.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be rough because, like, there's this one game called As We Descend, which is a really unique-looking deck builder that's coming out at the end of May.
Yeah.
And then Monster Train 2 announced that they are releasing 1 week before that.
Oh, good.
And I'm like, oh god, that's rough. Because I mean, there's gonna be a lot of eyes on Monster Train.
Yeah. We don't have a date for Slay the Spire yet, right?
Nope, but maybe on Thursday.
I would say,
we
you
will.
think we got one this morning? I guess, you know, this morning for the video watchers, 2 days from now, but
Yeah.
oh man. Exciting, dude. Hell yeah. Guys, play more indie games. It's a good time. But yes, that's all we've been playing at the moment. So now it's a good time to hop into what else you could be playing with the indies releasing this week. We'll start off. This is April 10th through the 16th. We've got Blueprints on April 10th coming to PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and it's on Game Pass. We have Monaco 2 coming out April 10th on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. We have Chaos Prophecy coming out April 10th for PC. Promised Mascot Agency on April 10th for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Pilo in the Hollow Book, I believe is how it's said. April 10th for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days on April 10th for PC and Early Access. That might be the 9th. I have it written down as the 9th. I don't know. Maybe that changed.
Let me check.
Because I think the embargo was today, but I don't know. Either one. If it's out on the 10th or it's already out. One or the other.
The 10th, yeah.
All right, cool. Weird. Then I don't know where I saw the 9th. That's on my list. Jumpin' Jazz Cats coming out April 10th for PC. Willow Guard. Damn, April 10th. Willow Guard, April 10th for PC. Repose on April 14th for PC. Dive the Depths on April 15th for PC. Lost Records Rage, so Tape 2 on April 15th for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Lush Foil Photography Sim on April 15th for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Super Mini Mart on April 15th for PC and Early Access. And then Inhuman Resources, a literary machination.
Oh, where did the date go?
That comes out sometime this week. Did it go down? Oh, yeah,
It is April 16th.
April 16th is when that one comes out.
And it's definitely on PC. And let me check if it's on anything else. I don't know where that line went. That's
We
weird.
threw it away. Tofr said we don't need dates. Check out the game.
It's only on PC.
Okay, cool. Yeah, those games coming out this week. Any you're gassed for?
I'm pretty gassed for Kaya's Prophecy,
Yep.
but the standout this week is Blueprints.
Yes.
Because the reviews for that are just out of this world.
Yeah,
like
dude.
people saying this is their favorite game ever and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Like it's been on my
so,
radar
yeah.
for sure, and I'm excited for it. And like it comes to PlayStation Plus on day one, I'm like, oh cool, I'm definitely gonna check it out. But like, yeah, these last 2 days, like I sent you Kind of Funny's like short form video about it, and they're all like, oh dude, this game's amazing, this game's incredible, this game's so like so good. I'm like, holy shit, where'd this come from? I was like, is this our Balatro? Is this our 2025 Balatro? Like,
Could be.
I'm excited to get my hands on it. I'm loving the praise. So I gotta download that at the moment I can on PlayStation. I'm very excited. And then obviously Into the Dead.
Anything else you're
I'm excited to play. It might be one that I have to try and get a group together to play, but Monaco 2 looks really fun. I love a good heist game, and it's this I know it's top down, I don't know if it's isometric, but it's a top down adventure heist game you get with the group. Everyone picks a character and they all have different benefits. Like there's one lady has a cute dog that can distract guards and stuff or other people. There's like the big tank like character. She, knocks people out and does everything. I think there's like a safe cracker type deal. So I really enjoy heists, like period. Mostly heist movies are really cool. So Monaco looks really fun. I never played the first one, but I like the visual style of the second one. And I'm like, okay, give this one a shot. And then, Lost Records, which we played tape 1 back in February. I think it ends on a cliffhanger, and it's I don't think it's as strong as like the first Life is Strange, but I'm leaving room until like we've played chapter 2 and see how it all kind of comes together and ends to see how impactful it is and then go from there. So I think we're playing that Thursday next week. So not tonight of this episode coming out, but so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tonight, this episode coming out, we're playing Into the Dead. You're going to be playing that on Twitch.
I also want to shout out Promise Mascot Agency.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if it's going to be my type of game, but it's by the devs who made what's it called?
I'm trying to think too. I was like, oh,
Killer. Paradise Killer.
Paradise Killer. Yep. I was going to say Paradise.
Yeah. And anything they make, like I noticed the So Many Games review is up for
Hmm?
Promise Mascot Agency, and my colleague over there was really excited about the game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I love Big Thumb Guy. That's really not my thing. But this was such a Yakuza fans are gonna love this game. Like when I saw it, and I totally see the audience. Again, I also don't think it's for me. But yeah, I can see people already love it. I'm excited to see once it comes out how many more people dive into it.
Yeah.
Bless you, little burping piglet. But real quick, let's move on to our indie spotlight. Tofr, it is your turn to pick an indie to spotlight. What you got for me?
Well, since we had this whole interview about visual novels, I wanted to mention Butterfly Soup 1 and 2. These are 2 games that you can only get on itch.io.
Okay.
They're both free.
Oh, dope.
But please give the devs some money if you can.
Yes, yes.
They're both 3 to 4 hour long episodes, and it's basically a story about gay Asian girls playing baseball and falling in love. And it's so wholesome. It's I haven't played the second game yet, but
Yeah.
the first game is just incredible. And yeah, I don't know why they're not bringing it to Steam. 'Cause I
Okay.
feel like the game is missing an entire audience that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, even the itch.io page, like it just says a visual novel about gay Asian girls playing baseball and falling in love. Features Harold, they're lesbians.
Wait, this looks funny, right? Because like one of the first things we see is like the group chat of like, let's all sing the Barney song, and someone starts typing it, and then someone changed the group name, like, fuck you, Noel. Like, wait, this is funny. Because it reminded me of we have
It is funny.
Connor in our group chat, like our Facebook message chat from college is just like his name gets changed all the time. He was I can't read some of our names, but like I think I'm like Urethra Dingo or some shit like that. So like Connor got changed to like Pip Pip, and then became like Slow Eyed Cocklump, which was from God of War 2018. So like immediately I'm like, wait, this is us. I love this. This looks really cool.
Yeah,
I definitely want to check these out.
go for it.
Aw. You said you just played the first one, you haven't played the second one yet.
I haven't played the second
Okay.
one yet. I don't know why.
Time.
I just haven't. Yeah, there are so many games have come up to play instead,
Yeah.
and like it's been sitting on my PC desktop for like months.
Okay.
I have it installed, but I just never get around to it. Maybe
Sounds
I
like-
should do that now.
Sounds like a good Sunday morning stream, you know what I mean? Wake up, get some coffee. Gay girls playing soccer?
Baseball.
Baseball. Okay.
Baseball.
I'm like, what sport was it? I got lost at the group chat. Oh, dope. Yeah, it looks really cool. I want to check that one out. I closed it. I have to bookmark that. Oh, but sick. And with that, guys, that's the end of our episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode of Playlog Podcast. If you enjoyed, you're watching on YouTube, be sure to leave that like and let us know in the comments what games you've been playing. Are you going to wish list Spill the Beans? You should. You shouldn't really tell us. You should just go do it, but also tell us that you did it. And what games you're looking forward to, what games you've been playing. And just tell us stuff. Tell us how your day is. I hope it's going well. Along with that, Tofr, if little scrubbly bubblies want to find you on the interwebs, where would they go?
The easiest way is through my link tree, which is Play Nice Kids in one word.
Perfect. And also in the description. Be sure to check that out. Again, catch us on Sunday nights for Fallout. Tonight on stream, I'll be playing Into the Dead. Come on over. And then if you want tomorrow, Marvel Rivals, new season drops, Emma Frost. I'm praying I just get someone who just choke slams me the entire 3-hour stream. So let's have a good time. Oh, man. And I hope they bought the skin. I hope they bought the skin, Tofr. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I hope they did. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.